Mic check. Okay. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this very special event. On behalf of the Academy, I am proud to present the 2022 Annual IndieEye Film Awards. Is that all I gotta say? Am I done here? I hate standing up on this stage looking out at all. What? I don't even want to be here. I mean, look at all these people. It's just a bunch of pretentious artists waiting to be validated by some arbitrary award. What's that? The mic. It's still on? Oh,
You are now listening to the IndieEye Film Awards podcast.
welcome to the IndieEye Film Awards podcast. I'm Matt.
And I'm Dre.
And we are here to discuss and present
to
you all the IndieEye 2022 Annual Awards.
Yeah, we are. Yay.
Dre is more excited than she sounds.
Yes.
She's getting over an illness that has plagued our household. I will try to carry us through here. We will try to move swiftly because there are a lot of names and a lot of films that we want to mention, a lot of projects we want to mention. But before we get into all of that, I want to plug our latest bonus episodes, one with young director, big-time IndieEye winner, Benjamin Hunt. We have a great bonus episode where he's talking about his experience with film school, meeting people to collaborate with, his journey becoming a filmmaker, and we get to talk about the projects that he had submitted and won with, which was Peaches, Jeepney, and Transient.
Right.
All winners for us. So thank you, Ben, and please go check out that bonus episode.
It's a great episode.
We also just published another bonus episode. I got to have a conversation with Trisha Arand. Trisha Arand is a co-host of Beyond the Screenplay, but she is also a writer. She is a professional screenplay coverage provider. I would highly recommend listening to that podcast because we're talking all things Beyond the Screenplay, writing, screenplay coverage, podcasting. There's so much information in there. But one thing she does that I think is really cool, personally, I have some personal bias here. But Trisha Arand does some coverage and analysis on Madison Baker Was Here,
right,
which is my indie feature film. So Trisha watched it, and she gave me some constructive criticism.
Yeah.
And really what she did was give me ways I could have improved so many things. And it was just, it inspired me. I really enjoyed the feedback I got from Trisha.
Did it make you a little mad that you didn't do those things?
Well, no, because initially I had screenplay coverage.
That's true. You did have a couple reviews of it.
I had two rounds of the screenplay that helped me get it into the shape that I felt comfortable in. And I went and I shot Madison Baker Was Here knowing that some of that initial advice I did not take.
That's true.
Based on, I wanted to make this film, make it the way I wanted to make it, get through the whole process, do, everything in post pretty much myself, and then be able to look back at it and go, okay, what can I do better? And, it was a learning process for me.
That's cool.
But she gave me some great ideas that I wish, I actually wish I would have had been able to speak with Trisha beforehand.
Right.
And I didn't know of her at the time.
I guess mad was the wrong word. I guess, do you have regrets that you didn't film things a certain way or that you included or excluded something? It's just kind of when you look back at your work, you always criticize it.
Sure.
Sure.
Well, as I mentioned in the conversation with Trisha, I wish I could go and shoot it all again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't.
Right? No way.
But that movie did what it was supposed to do for me. And, it was just great to, I don't know if I would have appreciated Trisha's ideas prior to filming Madison Baker
Yeah,
was here.
that's
You know,
fair.
I'm a couple years beyond that regarding experience and just know-how and everything. So I just feel like I had a much richer appreciation for what she said about it. But, you know, definitely I recommend you go listen, not to hear Trisha talk about my movie, but to hear about her take on the movie and what could have made it better, because it's those types of things that will help you make your stuff better as well. And that was the purpose of doing that. Go check those out. But we are here for our 2022 annual awards, and we're going to rip through these. But as promised in those last couple of bonus episodes, I mentioned that we have some kind of game-changing news to drop on our IndieEye community.
Yeah.
And we have spent 2 full years now building an IndieEye community, delivering a podcast every month, doing bonus episodes, having a contest, updating websites, communicating with filmmakers. And we've got some unfortunate news. And this is not really our choice. I mean, it is technically, but we're going to get into a lot of it in an episode that's going to publish right after the awards episode. But as it stands right now, this will be the last awards episode of IndieEye Film Awards.
Yeah, sad face.
There will be no January contest.
Yep.
There will be no contest going forward. There's no
No
monthly
2023.
event. Nothing. This is it. This is it. Because of how things have changed at FilmFreeway, they are no longer supporting online film festivals.
Yep.
What does that mean? It means they made IndieEye Film Awards a non-public festival very recently. You know how we only got 11 submissions in November?
We thought it was just...
I thought things were
It was just slow.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It was strange, but it was really low.
Yeah.
Well, I happened to find out, and again, we'll get more into this on the episode that publishes.
Yeah,
after
because we
this.
got lots of dirt.
Well, I found out that you could not punch in, you couldn't browse you could not search FilmFreeway
for IndieEye. Yeah.
And I emailed customer support. You know, figured got to be a little
Glitch
issue
or
here.
something.
And what followed that was a subsequent email thread that we're going to publish on the website so that you can actually see the email exchange between myself and quote unquote support at FilmFreeway. That was really ended up being off-putting. Like initially it was, hey, you know, got this issue, what's going on? And there was a response from FilmFreeway, and then I was like, oh, well, you know, let me clarify. We're an active thing. We do all this and this. Look at all this that we do.
Yeah, look at these reviews that people have given us. Look at our website. Look at our podcast, everything we've done.
And it went downhill. So
real fast.
If the thing is, if IndieEye is going to be a non-public listing at FilmFreeway, then it's not worth it for us personally to hold this event. And again, we'll go more into that in the final episode of IndieEye.
How sad. We have very mixed feelings about it.
We're going to say a lot in that episode and kind of give you maybe a what's next or whatever. I will say for now, if you know, listen to the next episode of IndieEye, the final episode of IndieEye. Subscribe over to Take 22, a media production podcast. That is my personal podcast that I haven't uploaded to in a while, but if you want to continue a conversation, let's meet up over there. But again, we'll get into more of that in the next episode. This is it for IndieEye. And we'll have a final episode to dish all about what happened with FilmFreeway. And you know, I got a lot of negative feelings now about FilmFreeway, and I will tell all of you indie filmmakers, you do not need FilmFreeway or really any festival to define who you are and what you've done, what you're going to do. Not us, not Sundance, You don't need any of that. Just keep making films. So we'll talk more about that in the next episode of IndieEye Film Awards. But for now,
awards.
Let's talk about some awards. Okay, so let me preface this by telling everybody we have annual awards, annual laurels for IndieEye. If you win an award, there will be laurels for it. However, these new laurels will not be uploaded to the FilmFreeway Laurel Vault, our Laurel Vault there. We will have them in-house. So if you are a winner and you want your laurels, and I know you do, email me at hello@IndieEyeFilmAwards.com. And in the subject line, put laurels. You know, in the body of the email, feel free to say, "Hey, it's so and so with so and so."
Well, yeah, you'll kind of need to.
Well, yeah. I mean, I could. Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess that's helpful. But
tell us who you are and what film you made.
Right. I mean, I probably know by the email addresses. Yeah. You know, because Dre,
why
we've been active film festival administrators, and we interact with a lot of our people. So, yeah. But yeah, so it's just, if you want your laurels for these 2022 annual awards, email us at hello@IndieEyeFilmAwards.com, and in the subject line, put laurels. And then I can respond to that email by attaching the laurels, the appropriate laurels for your win. And I'll remind everybody at the end, but do that, write it down. Otherwise, you get nothing. So, we did, based on all things that are going on, I created a new category for our 2022 annual awards, the Award of Excellence. This sounds very generic, but...
But these are all excellent films that deserve awards, so it's good.
These are the type of awards that you get from your generic... Los Angeles Golden
State
Super State awards things that I find so awful and is what FilmFreeway should be eliminating. But I'm going to go through a list here of our awards of excellence. And our first award of excellence goes to Almondwood, which was directed by James Frost, submitted in January of this year. Pivot Forward, a beautiful doc short directed by Chad Weber, also submitted in January of this year. Production Line Work, which is the English title of a narrative short directed by Kiko Mora from February. This next one, there's a little bias going on here.
Just a smidge.
But the next one was How Keeping Aquariums Changed My Life, a doc short by Zenzo Tazawa of Tazawa Tanks on YouTube. Full disclosure, right after we had this exchange with Zenzo, I became Zenzo's editor for his YouTube channel. So
yeah, you did.
Since March, I think I'll accept maybe one or two videos I have been the editor for. So I work with Zenzo, and but he wins an award of excellence for his How Keeping Aquariums Changed My Life documentary short. Go check that out. Also, we've got The Divine Intervention, directed by Robert Mercado, which was a web series brought to us in April. Really impressed with Robert Mercado and his ensemble cast for that. We also have Downing the Anchors, a doc short directed by Nathaniel House. Dante Albane directed Game Night. And Game Night gets an award of excellence because I really like it. And I like a lot of the people that are in it. And it's my festival. So
we make the rules.
But Dante had no idea I was doing this. But Dante, congratulations there. Omega, a horror short directed by Riley Kennedy, gets an award of excellence. Also, For I Am Dead, directed by Patricia Del Sol Lucas, a beautiful short film that was submitted in August. We're also giving Collector, directed by Silas Dunn, an award of excellence. And we're almost done here. Not everybody got one, but these people are definitely worthy. A fun feature we received, who dun 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 it, directed by Thomas Tulak, that of course wins an award of excellence.
Yep.
And finally, our last award of excellence goes to A Tiger in the Subway, directed by James Abrams, which was submitted in October. So congratulations to you all. Enter the applause. Well deserved for all of our projects that won an award of excellence. I mean, the award of excellence for me was just, we have winners in categories, but there's so many things that I just, maybe I'm feeling a little sentimental about IndieEye right now, but just things that I wanted to acknowledge. I wanted people to be able to take home a little something extra. And we have some Emerging Artists Awards that I'm going to go into after we get through the awards themselves, moving things along into our regular categories. We shall start with Best Sound Design, which we have awarded to Cadillac, A Mobster Fairy Tale, directed by Robert Carreri. And Cadillac was in a lot of discussion for several categories for this year.
Yeah.
We absolutely knew it would win Best Sound Design, and that's basically based on the wonderful music they kind of weaved into the whole storyline. And
well, it put you in that era.
Right.
It really helped solidify the cinematography and the acting and all the other things. It really brought the whole thing together.
Right. It was absolutely a strong contender in several categories.
Yeah.
But I knew this one was locked down and ready to go. So congratulations to Robert Carreri and the team that made Cadillac, A Mobster Fairy Tale for winning Best Sound Design. There is a director who has now impressed us twice.
That's
with
true.
Last year's Death March and this year's Four Pins. Beautiful short films. Matthew Belts has delivered, I guess, two of our really big favorites, narrative shorts. But not only has Matthew Belts done an amazing job with these short films, his director of photography, Devin Bussey, is just super impressive.
Yeah.
I really love his work. And congratulations to Matthew Belts and Devin Bussey for winning Best Cinematography for Four Pins. Now, speaking of impressive skill sets, a director named Wes Davis submitted a project called Knock Knock, a short film. I think it was initially submitted as a horror.
Yeah, because it was a little bit of a thriller.
Yeah, and it worked. It's so beautiful, and the sound was really good. But what he really stood out with was he produced himself a song for the film called Knock Knock, which was performed by Lilia Keisel. And in August, this won for Best Original Song. Well, Knock Knock is so darn good, and Wes Davis is so darn talented that Knock Knock wins Best Original Music Song or Score for 2022. Congratulations, Wes and Lilia. But then you come to Best Music Video.
Okay, come on. This one's so fun.
And this young man stole our hearts.
He really did.
when they submitted. This is a music video directed by Sean M. Astin, performed by Ben Olson. The song is called Location, and Location is our best music video for 2022. So we're rocking here now. We're moving along.
Rock and roll. Let's go.
Not many fan fiction submissions in 2022. I was really disappointed.
Yeah, because we had some. It felt like we had a lot more in 21.
Yeah, we had some fun ones, but one just really blew us away. Directed by Barry Wilkinson, the Jurassic Park themed short with a wonderful message.
Yeah, it was
cute. Take in the moment, live in the moment, put your phone down and live in the moment. Stegosaurus is our best fan fiction for 2022. In the category of animation, We had some real heavy hitters in 2022. And this is a category I was just always so excited to experience, because you never know what you're going to get. You really get a wide range of
styles,
yeah, in animation. And there are certainly ones we should mention, but the winner was a winner twice for us in different episodes of this particular series. And they won in May and they won in July. It was directed by Marissa Cohen and Peter Isaac Alexander. The Cloaked Realm is the best animation for 2022. Now, it's hard to make us laugh in a good way.
Right.
And CJ Calando actually entered a couple of films earlier this year, Temecula and Maybe Next Year. Both I enjoyed immensely. Now, both Temecula and Maybe Next Year had a lot of the same cast, but they were very, very different projects, both done super well. But when it comes to the category of comedy, Maybe Next Year was one of the few things submitted to us that made me laugh out loud, and multiple times.
Yeah, it was well written enough that it wasn't stiff comedy. It wasn't, oh, I think I'm supposed to laugh there. It was written very naturally, and the cast worked really well together, where just everything, the timing was great, the comedy was great. It was very natural.
Timing was immaculate,
yeah.
Which, the editing also with that really, really done well. And while watching Maybe Next Year, I'm thinking of the complications of shooting a party.
Yeah, there was so many extras and blocking
the
and
production design, just all of that coming
goodness.
together. Maybe Next Year, directed by CJ Calando, is our best comedy for 2022. Now for something completely different, the horror category. And I would say 2022 for us was huge in the horror. We had some really strong submissions, some fun submissions. But for me, I really had to think about which one stuck with me the most, which one felt the most original, which means probably not a zombie movie. But for me, it was Kenneth Perkins' The Fallen Elves.
It was a very cool story. Very, very, like you said, very original, not a zombie movie. And the practical effects actually felt like not cheesy. So that was a big win for me.
Well, same here. So Kenneth Perkins, congratulations to you and your team, because The Fallen Elves is our best horror for 2022. I also found web series to be a super fun category, because you never really knew what was coming your way with web series. And sometimes people would submit as a short, but really it felt like a web series. And it's just, I think that's an emerging segment of filmmaking. And what a great opportunity you all have now to put these things on YouTube and just continue creating, being able to continue to tell a story. And in August, Kenny Tiller shared with us Art of the Hustle, which from the poster to production to acting, directing, cinematography, Art of the Hustle impressed the heck out of us.
Yeah, I love that it fit into that category so well, because you got to know these characters a little bit, but you definitely left wanting to know more about them and what they were going to be up to, how they were going to arc, and how they were going to solve their issues. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be continued or not, but it was a good one for us.
Well, congratulations, Kenny Tiller. You directed our best web series of 2022, Art of the Hustle. Moving over to the documentary lane of IndieEye Film Awards, a doc short we received called Cover Me just really skillfully presented veterans processing PTSD in this particular location.
Yeah.
I just thought everything about it was done well. It's shot well. The sound is great. The editing's great. It was engaging the whole time. And you just had real people involved delivering real personal stories. And I just think all the elements came together for Cover Me. And we received several wonderful documentaries, feature lengths, and shorts. But I think, here at the end of the year, the one that stood out the most and made the most impact here for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was Cover Me.
Yeah, no, I mean, isn't it like 40 minutes long? I watched every single second, and it was engaging the whole entire time. I mean, it moved me to tears in several instances, and it just was what you want from a doc, because docs can be boring and information heavy.
Right.
And this was very personal, and it told a story with emotion, which, is kind of what you have to do in order to get your information out.
So I assume we agree.
Yes.
Cover Me, directed by Dale Fabregar, is our best doc short of 2022. Now, it's hard to make a really good doc short, but I'd say it's even harder
I would too.
to make a doc feature
Yeah.
that also checks all of those boxes.
Yeah, that doesn't bore you.
Yeah, I would say, trying to keep the attention of an audience when you're making an independent film is hard, and then having it be a documentary there's certainly fans of documentaries, but doing a feature and keeping people's attention for that long and having a premise that's interesting to follow, and then being able to back that up with several interviews and thoughtful discussion and things like that. Well, director Elijah Stevens submitted Send Proof in March, and we just thought this was a wonderful and intellectually honest presentation of the power of people's belief.
Yeah.
And, talking about do you feel like you've witnessed any miracles in your life?
Right.
Are you a believer in really any specific religion, and why? So director Elijah Stevens, congratulations for winning Best Documentary Feature for Send Proof in 2022. Moving back over to the narrative side of things, it's tough to make good content if you don't have good actors. And we have we have three categories that really include the actors of films. We have supporting actor, best actor, and best ensemble cast, which gives us some flexibility to put names out there. And in 2022, Sam H. Clodder II was a very important co-star of Transient, directed by Benjamin Hunt, who we have a bonus episode for, if you want to go listen to the bonus episode of IndieEye Film Awards, featuring Benjamin Hunt, where he talks about casting. Because why?
Casting is directing.
And Sam H. Clodder II delivered a wonderful, heartfelt performance and really pulled Transient together, I felt.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
So congratulations to Benjamin Hunt and Sam H. Clodder II, because he is our best supporting actor of 2022 for his role in Transient. Now, what may be the most debated category behind the scenes here at IndieEye, and not that there was a, push and pull fight for anything, but we just had
a lot to choose from.
We had a really strong handful of actors, and so just paring that down was really difficult. But in the end, we really had to look at, if we had two that we felt were equal, which one had to carry more on their shoulders for the projects submitted in 2022. So that's really the very sharp, razor thin knife that we had to,
use.
Trim this down with. And I don't know if that made sense, but ultimately, Calvin T. Shepard's Safe House 1618 had quite a cast, and Jasmine Day for us really carried a lot in that film. I mean, that's to take away nothing from the other actors.
Of course not.
But just the importance of her character in that film and just everything that had to take place in Safe House 1618. Just, there was a range to work from. And I thought Jasmine Day did a fantastic job, along with, the directing of Calvin T. Shepard. And we've talked so much about Safe House 1618. It actually just screened at Kevin Smith's Smodcastle Film Festival in New Jersey.
Very cool.
We also have a bonus episode with Calvin T. Shepard, and he talks about what he went through to make that film. And it's just a great listen. But Jasmine Day, for her role in Safe House 1618, earns our 2022 Best Actor Award. And staying on theme with casting as directing, Mr. C.J. Calando, who directed Temecula and Maybe Next Year, and put together a fantastic cast for both of those shorts, introduced me as the audience to many faces that I want to see in the future. I want to see more from not only these actors themselves, but I would like to see follow-ups to both of his entries,
Yes.
which says so much about these actors and about CJ Calando. But Maybe Next Year wins our Best Ensemble Cast for 2022. And if CJ is not sick of hearing his name called...
If he's feeling a little left out.
Yeah, I know you were talking about your cast and, the comedy of the cast and everything. For submitting two things in the same month that
were amazing.
That were winners for putting together a great cast. I mean, the production value involved... Did I say that right? The production value involved...
Yeah,
yes.
You did.
Okay. is... it's top notch, and just two things that we really enjoyed. And when I underline everything with casting as directing, it tells me a lot about CJ and his ability. He's someone I definitely want to see more from. For his submissions of Temecula and Maybe Next Year, CJ Calando is our best director of 2022. And best director is also a very tough category for us to give it to one person, but and this one may have been based on volume.
I mean, that could have played a part.
Yeah. But I also want to talk about Matthew Belts, who this year sent us 4 pins, which is just beautiful.
Oh my gosh. Seriously, probably my favorite from the year.
And which stars George Lavoie, who we enjoyed in Death March, and he's just brilliant in 4 pins.
And the story was just so clever. And
we've mentioned director of photography Devin Bussey.
Yeah.
But Matthew Belts is another skilled director who not only has his vision, but knows how to get it executed well on screen for working with these people. So he's casting well. He's pulling together a wonderful crew to work with. And sometimes that gives you a narrative short film as beautiful as 4 pins, which is why 4 pins, directed by Matthew Belts, is our best narrative short of 2022. Now look, I know we're flying through all these awards, and we're not really stopping and talking about everything we love about each one of these projects, because there's a lot of awards to talk about.
Yeah.
And we have one major award left.
Is it a major award? Listen, we talk about movies.
It is Christmas time.
Yes.
So it's a major award. Everybody listening should know what
Please know what that's from.
But I wanted to just stop and say, if you want to learn more about any of the things we've talked about, it's all at the website. The website's not going anywhere.
Right, we're keeping it for now.
But everything we will have, there is a 2021. There is a 2022 annual awards winners page. We will have links to these projects, or well, not to the films themselves, but we'll have posters, we'll have the social media links we had available to us before. But you can also go back to the previous months, listen to those podcasts if you want a deeper dive on the things we enjoyed about these people and these projects. That's all there. We don't need to go into it all here in the annual awards episode. But, all of our episodes still exist on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, most places you get podcasts, of course on YouTube. They're all there. They're all connected at the website. Things are easy to find if you want to do deeper dives, or maybe you just discovered IndieEye and you want to go back to February of 2021 when we started and listen to them all. Go ahead. Please do. And like and subscribe for no reason at this point. But more about that in the next episode. The last category we're going to get to here is Best Narrative Feature. Now, we had big projects submitted this year. There was a really great Western. I mean, there was just massive official indie features where there's obviously money behind it, a heck of a cast behind it. So, in short, several options to choose from that were very worthy of Best Narrative Feature. But as I sit here as an indie film director of my own, Madison Baker was here, now available on Amazon Prime. Go check it out.
Hashtag shameless plug.
I feel like it's my last chance to tell you that. I'm thinking about this conversation I had with Calvin T. Shepard, which is a bonus episode of IndieEye that you can go listen to. And I think it's just the epitome of what indie filmmaking is. Calvin was writing this and then trying to produce this and trying to film this, all while working and busting rocks and moving rocks and just, he's out there struggling to get it done.
Yeah. And
working really hard. And Safe House 1618 ended up being one of our favorites of the year. And he's gone on to have quite a bit of festival circuit success with it. And his next project, Popular Monsters, looks phenomenal. And I know a little bit more about it than what's out there right now. I have been able to have conversations with Calvin.
So cool.
In addition, Calvin put me on to a location in Fort Collins, Colorado called the Gorehounds Playground, which is this hybrid video rental, but you can also purchase movies, lots of indie films there. And what I thought was super cool is he has this pretty big room with a big, screen and couches to chill on, where indie filmmakers can come in and have, small screenings of their films in this room, or just watch parties. Maybe you want to get a bunch of friends together and watch Jaws. You could go do that there. Or maybe you want to get a bunch of friends together and do some gaming. You can go there and do that. And the owner,
what a cool thing.
Yeah, I got to meet the owner, Jeff. We were just recently on a road trip to Wyoming, and I went to Fort Collins to film with another YouTuber that I work with, Girl Talks Fish. We were there filming at the Fish Crew in Fort Collins, Colorado, and I got to stop by the Gorehounds Playground, meet Jeff, buy movies from him, and several of the had like these mini posters that I just kind of went crazy and bought a bunch from. And so Jeff is a great guy. It's just a wonderful location there in Fort Collins, Colorado that supports indie film. So if you're ever in that area, make an effort to go to the Gorehounds Playground and support Jeff. And, ask him his opinion on movies, and he'll tell you. He's a great guy. But thanks to Calvin T. Shepard for putting that in my view. But I've gotten away from the fact that Safe House 1618 is a hell of a narrative feature with a kick-ass cast, a director I really respect, and that's why Calvin T. Shepard has earned Best Narrative Feature in 2022 for Safe House 1618.
Big congrats to everyone.
Now, while that's the end of our main categories, I do have a list I want to read to you. These are Laurel-winning awards we're about to present. So again, if you're a winner here, email me at hello@IndieEyeFilmAwards.com, and in the subject line, put laurels, and then, obviously tell me who you are, and I will send you the laurels that Dre has made.
Yeah, for your winning category.
For emerging artists.
It's such a cool category. I love this.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of names that I just, certainly remember, I respect, I liked their projects. Some were honorable mentions, others were winners, but these are people who I have my eye on going forward. And is this list the only people I'm paying attention to? No. But just in going through the annual awards list, I wanted to provide just another little something here. So our emerging artists of 2022 are as followed. Spencer Zhang, who directed Fight Night for us. He was an honorable mention in January. But I love what, as a young filmmaker, I love what he did. And I hope to see more from Spencer Zhang. Benjamin Hunt has been mentioned quite a few times.
Just a couple, yeah.
Throughout IndieEye. And again, he won with Peaches and Jeepney and Transient. I got to have a great conversation with Benjamin about his journey. He is an emerging artist of 2022. Another young man who has submitted a couple of projects to us here at IndieEye is Clarence Williams IV, who submitted Eyes on Me and I'm the Man. I was super impressed just with his ability.
Yeah.
And he's a guy I want to keep my eye on going forward because I think he's going to do big things. Another young man we had the pleasure to communicate with was GREYSON GIBSON, who back in March directed Maggots of the Mind.
Yeah, it was super interesting.
Which he did all by himself.
Yeah, he even acted in it, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah, the whole thing.
And I've had an email exchange with Grayson about another project, and just I like where he's going, and he's definitely an emerging artist in 2022. Someone I wish we would have seen even more work from is Brianna Green, who was the creator of Sun and Moon, which won animation short for us back in March. I think she's just a real super talent. And, I get little sneak peeks of other things she does on Instagram. And I just think, she's got an amazing talent and is a good storyteller herself. Justin Pogue really entertained us with the comedy You've Matched. And he's definitely on this list, along with a combination here of Omar Cook and Adonis Armstrong, who submitted Coke Boys back in July.
Yeah, real strong.
I loved Coke Boys, and I'm looking forward to where these guys are going with their future endeavors as well. Another emerging artist I wanted to name here was Christian Jessup, who has submitted a couple of things to us. And this year he submitted My Great-Great-Great-Uncle Built Churches. But what I really love about Christian is that he scores his projects.
Yeah, with his own original music, right?
Right.
Yeah,
And
so good.
I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity for him to have his name in credits going forward. Along with Zach Valentine, who sent us Knock back in August, another short.
Yeah.
It was a horror. But it was a short, and it's only him. He's the crew, he's the actor, and we really liked that back in August. And yeah. I think Zach Valentine is a name to watch going forward as well.
Sorry, I was just going to say, he knows exactly what he's doing, and he's doing it really well.
Right, yes, exactly. And so is Jordan Manlagnat. With Dual Enrollment back in October really impressed us, and he is an emerging artist for 2022. And we've mentioned Four Pins, we've mentioned Matthew Belts. Who I wanted to name here was George Lavoie.
Yeah, very, very good actor.
He starred in Four Pins, he starred in Death March from last year. I just think that's a name you're going to see going forward, along with Aubrey Boucher. Aubrey just has this great energy, a bubbly personality. We actually have a bonus episode with an interview with her from last December.
Because she was an annual award winner as well.
That's correct. The arrows definitely keeps pointing up for Aubrey. And just a few more names here. I don't want to name everyone we've ever met through IndieEye.
Because it's a lot.
Although I really could. And I'll get more sappy about it in the next episode. But a name I really appreciate here is TRAYVON Williams, who sent us Armstrong. He actually sent us Armstrong, which is a feature film. He sent it both in September and October.
Yeah.
And it was a project we both enjoyed. It's very well done. I was actually hoping to have a conversation with Trey Williams, which now we won't be able to present as a bonus podcast. But again, I'll get more into that in the next episode of IndieEye. And the next emerging artist for me is my man Pride Pierce, who sent us so many fun things throughout our couple years here at IndieEye.
Yeah, he's definitely a favorite alum for sure.
Absolutely. And, I wanted to be able to have a bonus podcast with him as well. I follow Pride on Instagram also, and this guy is just constantly doing something.
Yeah, he likes projects.
He'll be your sound guy. He'll be the director. He'll be the writer. He'll do whatever. And he is a problem solver. He's a go-getter. He's just constantly trying to work and create, and I love that. And Pride Pierce is just a name that I know I'm going to keep seeing. And the final name I have on my list here as an emerging artist for 2022 is Mally Corrigan. And that's a name you've heard several times. I do have a bonus episode with a conversation with Mally. She's the writer of The Alpines. The Alpines won big our first month. They went on to win big in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
They got distribution. You can find The Alpines in most of your streaming places. But she is just a fantastic writer, a wonderful soul. Someone that, we've become friends with.
Yeah.
Her and Dante Aubane, obviously, who started working with us as well. But I find her as an emerging artist because I think she's a force to reckon with. And I think her tenacity and her talent are things that are going to spark bigger things in the future. And that's a name I think everyone should remember. So congratulations to our total list of emerging artists for 2022. Listen, if your name wasn't called in this episode as a winner of something, that means nothing. Congratulations to all our winners. But if you're listening to this, you submitted to IndieEye, or maybe you're listening to this and you never got a chance to. If you're a creator of any sort and you're out there trying to make it happen, that's the most important thing. And I'll say more about this in the next final episode of IndieEye. But there are no film festivals that can define you as an artist. Only you can do that. Our laurels, we love them. We love to get laurels on posters. I mean, I'm there. I'm you. I'm an indie filmmaker. And, I did my runs of shotgunning to film festivals and putting laurels on posters and all that. And just at the end of the day, those are fun, but they mean nothing. What means a lot is that you're kicking ass, creating, and moving forward and not giving up on yourself. Don't give up on your ideas. We live in a time where you can make anything you want, anything you're capable of making, and distribute it yourself, put it out to the world, and keep moving forward. But as a reminder, if you do want laurels you may have earned in our 2022 annual awards for IndieEye Film Awards, if you want the laurels, email me, Matt, at hello@IndieEyeFilmAwards.com, and in the subject line, put laurels. If I get an email from somebody that says, hey, I heard we won an award, what did we win? And are there laurels? I'll know you haven't listened to this episode. So at least do that. And, let me take an opportunity here to shout out again, Benjamin Hunt, Trisha Arand, Caleb Pike, Whit Ingram, and Calvin T. Shepard, who have all taken time out of their lives towards the end of the year, the latter half of the year, to have conversations with me that I can share with you all as bonus episodes of IndieEye. We were really building up our bonus episode catalog. I had some really great names to bring to you in 2023, things that were booked, that I have to now cancel. But I loved the opportunity to bring people like Trisha and Caleb Pike and Whit Ingram on, who weren't necessarily involved with IndieEye, but these are outside professionals who I wanted to have conversations with to help the indie filmmakers who are listening to us. And I really wanted to do more of that. We had some really great things planned for 2023, but as we said at the top of this episode, this is it. This is really it.
This is really it.
And because of the nature of the relationship with FilmFreeway, which we will explain more in the next episode of IndieEye, we're having to call it quits here with IndieEye Film Awards. And that hurts all of you indie filmmakers. FilmFreeway is now significantly impacting your potential visibility.
Yep. Not just ours.
Not just ours. And you know, while we find this sad and you know, it's not something we love here, it's like the only one this FilmFreeway thing is hurting is indie filmmakers.
Yep.
That's the, well,
and themselves
for some reason.
But again, we will go into more detail because there's a lot to say.
So check out the next episode of IndieEye Film Awards. We're actually planning to drop it shortly after, and I mean like within hours after this 2022 annual awards episode publishes. So we don't want to keep you guys waiting. And it's not clickbait or anything like that. We actually mean it, and we want to share with you in the spirit of transparency, which is what IndieEye started as, to get you a little bit behind the scenes of a film festival and give you guys tips on how to submit things a little bit better. You know, not just in your filmmaking journey, but you know, the filling out of the project page and having a good poster and a cover letter, etc. In the spirit of that transparency, we're going to talk to you and we're going to tell you about what happened with FilmFreeway. We're going to publish the email thread I had with quote unquote support at FilmFreeway. So, you know, and I'm not saying this as a dig on FilmFreeway. A little. But right now, I can't speak for them. I know that FilmFreeway was sold at the end of 2021.
Yeah.
And whatever the new management is thinking, I can't speak for them. They're not here to defend themselves. So I can only give you my opinion based on what's happened with us. But we'll definitely get into that. So until then, thanks for listening. Congratulations to all of our 2022 winners each month and the annual awards. You, as listeners and as creatives, have motivated us, have inspired us, and have delivered such great content for us to remember.
Yeah.
We appreciate it, and we will talk more about that in the next episode.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of IndieEye.